Nigeria's headline inflation rate increased to 27.33% in October 2023 relative to September 2023 headline inflation rate, which was 26.72, as released in recent data by the National Bureau of Statistics. The October 2023 headline inflation rate showed an increase of 0.61 percentage points when compared to September 2023 headline inflation rate. On a year-on-year basis, the headline inflation rate was 6.24 percentage points higher compared to the rate recorded in October 2022, which was 21.09%. Food inflation was 31.52% in October 2023 from 30.64% in September 2023. President Bola Tinubu has met top officials of the Islamic Development Bank to negotiate a multi-billion-dollar infrastructure finance facility to help build ports and power plants. Ajuri Ngalale, spokesperson to the president, in a statement said that President Tinubu held talks with the Islamic Development Bank Vice President Mansour Mukhtar in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, where he pointed out that Nigeria has serious deficits in port infrastructure, power infrastructure, and agro-allied facilities, but did not provide further details of the finance package sought by the government. Mukhtar said the Islamic Development Bank is ready to work with the government to support big investment in Nigeria, which is expected to get a significant share of $50 billion Africa Investment Fund announced by the bank in cooperation with the Arab Coordination Group. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister for the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, has unveiled plans to leverage the nation's assets to generate about $13 billion annual revenue and boost federal government revenue and achieve revenue to GDP of 25% by 2026 from the present 8%. Edun disclosed this while speaking at the launching of the AfriVest 2023 Nigerian Banking Sector Report in Lagos. The minister, who was presented by the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer, Ministry of Finance Incorporated, MOFI, Dr. Armstrong Takang. Edun said the plan includes enumerating all national assets, introducing governance, monetizing and optimizing the assets. He said the actions will be achieved through a national assets register to be created by MOFI, which will be leveraged to generate revenue of up to 3% of the nation's gross domestic product, or $13.3 billion. The plans will also be used to increase the value of national assets under management AUM of the MOFI to 100 trillion naira from the present value of 18 trillion naira. The Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) says it has extended the legal tender status deadline of the old design of 200 naira, 500 naira, and 1000 naira denominations ad infinitum, in line with international best practices and to forestall a repeat of earlier experiences. The CBN, in a statement signed by its Director of Corporate Communications, Isa Abdul Mumin, said all banknotes issued by it in accordance with Section 20, Subsection 5 of the CBN Act 2007 will continue to remain legal tender ad infinitum, even beyond the initial December 31, 2023 deadline. The statement added that the central bank is working with the relevant authorities to vacate the subsisting court ruling on the same subject. Accordingly, all CBN branches across the country will continue to issue and accept all denominations of Nigerian banknotes, old and redesigned, to and from deposit money banks. Abdul Mumin enjoined the public to continue accepting all Naira banknotes, old or redesigned, for day-to-day transactions and handle them with utmost care to safeguard and protect the life cycle of the banknotes. He also encouraged the public to embrace alternative modes of payments, e-channels, for day-to-day transactions. It will be recalled that the Central Bank of Nigeria introduced the redesign of 200 Naira, 500 Naira, and 1000 Naira denominations in October 2022, and certain deadlines were set for the old design of these denominations to cease as legal tenders. After 52 years of listing on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, Union Bank of Nigeria has announced that it would be delisting from the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Titan Trust Bank (TTB), the core shareholder in Union Bank, has completed acquisition of the minority shareholding of Union Bank, leading to the request to delist. In May 2023, Union Bank received an offer from its core shareholder, Titan Trust Bank Limited, to acquire the shares of all minority shareholders in Union Bank after the completion of core investors' sale of a majority shareholding to Titan Trust Bank Limited, a subsidiary of TGI Group. Commenting on this development, Mudassir Amri, CEO of Union Bank of Nigeria, said, "The move is an effort to attract larger private investments to reconsolidate the bank's position as one of the top pioneer banks in Nigeria." Titan Trust Bank (TTB), promoted by the former CBN Deputy Governor Tunde Lemu, late 2021 got the approval of the Central Bank of Nigeria to acquire an 89.4% stake in Union Bank of Nigeria, and in June 2022, it completed the deal to acquire a 93.4% stake in the bank. Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPC) Limited has restored 275,000 barrels of oil per day production following a peace deal it brokered between the management of Total Energies, operator of the NNPC Total Energies joint venture, Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association (PENGASSN), and the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers (NUPENG), in a communique issued at the end of the marathon negotiation session chaired by Orisemeyiwa Eyeson, Executive Vice President, Upstream NNPC Limited. All parties committed to resolving all the issues within an agreed framework. The communique was signed by Total Energies MD CEO Matthew Boyer, PENGASSN President Comrade Festus Osifo, and NUPENG President Comrade Williams Akorega. It was witnessed by NNPC Limited's EVP Upstream Orisemeyiwa Eyeson and Chief Upstream Investment Officer NNPC Upstream Investment Management Services Bala Wunti. Also in attendance was Victor Bandele, Deputy Managing Director Total Energies. The African Export-Import Bank, Afreximbank, has launched a new initiative that will open doors, allowing African contractors to capitalize on various infrastructure investments available across the continent. Professor Benedict Orama, President and Chairman of the Board of Directors of Afreximbank, joined by Rania Al-Mashat, Minister of International Cooperation of Egypt, launched the Afrexim Intra-African Engineering Procurement and Construction Contract Promotion Program during the Presidential Summit of the Intra-African Trade Fair 2023 in Cairo, Egypt. Roma told guests that the program was one of the bank's initiatives to support the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area, saying that it aimed to enable African companies to successfully bid for, win and execute infrastructure contracts in Africa through capacity building, twinning, market access opportunities, financing, guarantees and technology solutions. Ms. Al-Mashat said that the launch of the program will have a positive impact on Africa's agenda for sustainable development. She described the platform as a strategic and effective solution to tackle three significant challenges preventing Africa from reaching its potential, including lack of funding, insufficient information, and a skills gap. Addressing those challenges was especially crucial to tackling the infrastructure funding gap on the continent, estimated at $170 billion annually, which could be fixed by promoting international cooperation and attracting investment in infrastructure. Attending the presidential summit was host President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi of Egypt, who was joined by President Emmerson Mnangagwa of Zimbabwe and Lazarus Chakwera of Malawi. Also present were Prime Minister Mustafa Modboli of Egypt and former President Olusegun Obasanjo of Nigeria, along with several former African vice presidents, 7 ministers, other political and business leaders.